And I don't think we have enough people to approve the minutes. Dia, what do you think?
Currently, we only have 5 of the user council members.
Yeah.
Someone's coming in right now, but I'm not sure who they are.
That's me.
But even if that would be 6 if that's a council member, but I'm not sure.
We need 8 to have a quorum. Is that correct?
7.
7. Okay, so 6. So we could talk about the minutes. Did anybody have any changes to the May and July minutes?
Perry just joined us.
Perry, on vacation?
Yeah, hi.
Whoa, you are dedicated, Perry.
Impressive.
So that's 7, right? Or is that 6?
That's 6.
That's still 6. Okay. So were there any changes to be made to the minutes, whether we approve them or not?
I noticed a couple of things.
Okay.
On the May minutes,
Okay.
it looks like under inactive patrons that it's kind of like there's 2 paragraphs there, and it looks like one is kind of a reiteration of the other. Maybe it was try to clear some of, I don't know. It needs to be probably adjusted.
Okay, so fix this part here. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do
Yeah,
that.
we can look at that.
Okay. My guess would be, just from a quick look at the second paragraph, was probably the one that's a little cleaner, a little more clear. And then on the new business under Cat 1 policy, it wasn't Dia that updated, but the mentors that updated.
Oh, the mentors. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you updated us on what the mentors decided.
The mentors updated the policy based on the recommendations at the last meeting. Mm-hmm.
Mentors. Okay, I'll change that right now.
Cataloging mentors. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dia.
And then I did have one on the other one too.
Okay.
On the second page, purpose of the governance committee, it's almost as if the last sentence wasn't finished.
Purpose of the governance committee.
It's top of the second page.
And then review after a year?
I don't remember.
I think that's what we decided. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we talked about.
Yeah. Okay. Any other changes? We have somebody else signed in, so I never remember.
Anne gives us 7. Let me make sure we don't have some others here too.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Morning, Cecily.
Oh, good morning. I didn't know if you can hear me or not, so.
You're not on the panel of lists, but you're on the phone, assuming. So thank you for letting us know. Oh,
Yeah,
she's just letting know. Okay.
We have several other attendees as well, so.
We have 8 council members at the moment.
I'd entertain a motion for the approval of minutes as adjusted.
Second.
Who motioned?
Cecily, or Beth, I thought did.
No. Cecily, do you want a motion?
Yes, I will make the motion.
I second.
With changes.
Any? Okay, so there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that passes. The approval of minutes for May and July. So the discussion of council term lengths and how many council members change out at a time. Dia, can you discuss this since you brought it up and you are more familiar with it than I am?
Sure. When the last round of nominations came up, I realized we have 6 coming and going every year. And I was talking to a few people, and that seems like an awful lot with 12 council members. And so what I suggested, and this is just literally was just what I threw out there in May, was that maybe we switch it to, instead of 2-year cycle, we have a 3-year cycle for the user council members. and that so every year we have 4 rotating in and out instead of 6. It'll just give some more consistency to the council, I think.
So in a sense, Dia will have 3 groups rather than 2.
Correct. And I did look at how things are kind of laid out, and I have some ideas as to how we could easily fix, over the next period of time. It's going to require a bylaws change regardless, but in terms of trying to group things, we have 2 groupings that have 3 council members in them currently, and those would be easy enough to just, do an adjustment on. One group has 2 that expire in 19 and 1 in 18. The other group has 2 that expire in 18 and 1 in 19. So it'd be a matter of, the adjustment there. The other 2, or the other 4 groups, there's 2 and 1, 2 groups that have 2 members and 2 groups that have 1 member. So just combining those so that we have 3, and we just have a rotation of 3 out of those is what I was kind of looking at and thinking would be the easiest to make adjustments on.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Is there any other opinions from anybody today?
This is Erin. I think it's a really good idea. A year just doesn't seem like enough time. And it's always hard to find new council members as it is. And I think it'd be easier if we had longer terms.
Dia,
Sounds good
would
to
you?
me too.
Oh, pardon me, Perry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it sounds good to me too.
Dia, would you be willing to write up what changes would be necessary for the bylaws, and we'll present that at our next meeting?
I can work on that, yes.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. While we're in that little bit, Erin and I and Perry were discussing when we were looking to hire a new employee, that the employees are actually employees of the Baker County Library District now, whereas they used to be employees of Eastern Oregon University. And we realized that Beth's contract has no authority for the council to do, or Baker County Library District either, to do a job evaluation for. So we need to have that changed also. Would that be in the bylaws, or is that just in Beth's contract?
I would think it would be in Beth's contract, although I don't have either of those in front of me, but.
Yeah, I don't think it would be in the bylaws.
So we don't have to do a bylaw change for that. So we just need to make a small change in that and take care of that. And then, because that was just one of the things that sort of slid by when we switched over from EOU to Baker County, and we didn't catch that. Okay, so moving on the agenda, Beth, can you do the discussion of the Evergreen Development Opportunity?
I can. Another Evergreen library in Oregon reached out to me concerning this project. They got a quote from Equinox for a new feature because they realized that the catalog doesn't search bilingual materials very well because of the limitation of only one language being assigned to a particular bib, not 2 languages. And so they gave a quote for what it would cost to enhance the software to do this. And I think the quote is $2,000. And so they were asking to see if we could contribute to the project in the amount of $500.
And would that then be available for all Evergreen users, or just those of us that have contributed?
Well, it would be
That user and say,
excuse me, it'll be available to everybody eventually. If you are part of the development group, you get the feature earlier.
oh, okay. Have we done that before, historically, done any?
Yeah, we have.
That's how we've gotten some new features, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So to me, it looked like a good opportunity. We do have bilingual materials in the system, multi-language materials, and I feel like it would be a good development project to help subsidize.
I agree with Beth. I think it is a good opportunity for us to use some of our development funding for that purpose, and it would definitely serve those libraries that have the bilingual materials and our patrons that are searching for them. Any other opinions?
This is Erin. I think it's a good idea. Do we need to make a motion on that?
I don't believe
think
so, since we've already budgeted $2,000. That we don't have to make individual motions. What's the opinion of the group?
I think it would probably be nice.
Be a good formality just to go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other discussion or a motion?
This is Perry. I'll move to pay $500 toward that multilingual project.
This is Erin. I'll second that.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to contribute $500 to the Equinox bilingual project. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that passes for $500. Thank you, Perry, for making the motion, and thanks, Beth, for bringing it to our attention. I was going to see if anybody had any comments I hadn't paid attention to. Okay, committee reports, cataloging committee. Yes?
Since the last council meeting in July, the SAGE mentors, SAGE cataloging mentors have met 3 times. And topics we've discussed include the Cat 1 policies, updates and possible trainings available. We do have one person who's currently in training and another that's expressed interest but has not sent in an application yet. We've also been addressing duplicates, monitoring cataloging in SAGE and some major issues that are occurring in the catalog. 245 field preferences, authorities, series, and encoding levels and bibs. And the cataloging committee met once in August since the last meeting, and they talked about the cataloging policy and documents that had been posted on the website, and they were announced. We also talked about preferences of the 245 field, which is the title, and how things are entered in the bibs. And then we just had a couple of reminders. And the next cataloging committee meeting will be the first Monday of October at 11 a.m. And those are announced on the SAGE CAT list.
Dia, has there been any progress? I have one of my employees that wants to apply. Has there been any progress in the classes that they would take? What, any availability of any?
Well, there is, the mentors have been trying to kind of build some ideas of lists. And unfortunately, because we don't have any training of our own, we just kind of have to watch and see if we can find things that are available out amongst things. And so it makes it a little difficult to just say, yeah, these are what, because it's just kind of quarter to quarter what we see come up. So if someone's interested, my recommendation would be, we just kind of have to work with the mentors and or Beth to try to find those kinds of trainings.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we just don't have the availability of any of us to really be able to spend the time to put together any kind of major trainings.
No, I fully understand that. I just hesitate to sign off on her applying for the training when there aren't any classes, and it'll just be a process and frustration for her that she can't complete it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Circulation committee?
The circulation committee has not met yet, but I am planning an October meeting.
Okay. Personnel Committee?
Personnel Committee did meet several times in our search for the new systems person. And 3 of us from the committee did do the interviews and then met afterwards to discuss the results. And we made an offer to John George, who accepted it, and started the 12th.
That's wonderful news. Will he be available? When do you think he'll be available for like assistance if people need to contact somebody?
We're working on training right now, trying to get him up to speed on Evergreen as well as Sage, aspects of Sage. So my feeling is that it's probably going to be a week or 2 before we start working on things together. And I told him that I wouldn't put his name up on the website until we were both feeling comfortable that he was able to address any questions. But I think he's going to be able to come up to speed quickly. He's got a lot of systems knowledge. It's just a matter of learning the uniqueness of what we are using.
Good. Courier Committee?
I guess that's me again. The Courier Committee is planning on meeting at the beginning of November. We lost our chair and everybody's been kind of busy, but we are going to start meeting again at the beginning of November.
Do you have a new chair?
I think that Carrie is assuming that role, at least in the interim, at Athena Public. And she's going to be on vacation in October, so that's why we're meeting in November.
Perfect. Back to the Personnel Committee. Will that committee be done now, having served its purpose of hiring John? Or does it continue on?
It was my understanding that it was just a temporary committee.
Okay. So we won't have it on the agenda next time.
Correct.
Strategic Planning Committee.
The Strategic Planning Committee has not been meeting either due to workload issues, but I think we're going to ramp that up again too because it's an important aspect we need to consider.
I'm reading the messages people typed in, and you answered that one about the Chinese. That's great. Is there anything else for anybody wanted to bring up today in the meeting? This is a very short meeting we anticipated.
Has there been any feedback about the new courier provider?
The feedback that I've heard is people are really happy with it. How do you feel, Perry?
I think it's been working well. The drivers show up on time, consistently, very professional, very helpful. I was a little disappointed to see that they're just using open, basically mail bins, not closed bins again, but those closed bins are expensive.
Yeah, they are. I don't know whether there's a plan to eventually shift, but yeah, I think they had to consider cost in purchasing those bins. I've heard that it's a lot faster getting materials around the state.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal.
It's always good to be faster. Anybody else?
I had a question for Beth, actually. This is Erin. Have you heard any updates on whether the web version of Evergreen is going to be out of beta in October?
Yeah, it's currently in beta right now. My feeling was that it would be out of beta in October. So
Mhm.
that's something we have to consider, especially Erin, given your situation, is how soon we want to upgrade to the next version.
What is the web
Typically,
version?
we wait a couple months after the newest release is out to kind of make sure all the bugs are out. But we can keep an eye on the Evergreen listserv and see what folks are reporting.
I think upgrading might be a good idea because there's so many bugs in it now that I'm
There
hopeful.
definitely are, and it would improve some if we upgraded to 2.12 because some of the things that that you're seeing now in the web version, Erin, some of them would be resolved with 2.12.
Okay.
And so I guess making the decision of whether we go to 2.12 or directly to 3 is something we need to look at.
Is it just us that's using it?
Yeah.
Can you explain, Beth, a little bit about, for those of us that don't know what the web version is?
Well, probably Erin knows more than I do because they've been using it. Basically, it's not based upon the staff client on your desktop. It's all over the web.
Okay.
And it's nice because you don't have to worry about upgrading or updating every time there's a new software release, but it's really buggy because it's in beta. We're having to use it because we have RFID that doesn't work well with Evergreen, the staff client. So yeah. Beth, I can send you an email, but I think we'd be happy to try switching and seeing how it goes, just because it's pretty bad.
Okay, and I'll talk with Equinox as well
Okay.
to kind of get their take on where 3.0 is and what our vulnerabilities are to moving that. With 3.0, the web client is fully supported in that version, but you don't have to use the web client in 3.0. My understanding is that you can still use the staff client.
Okay.
So both are available, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Beth, when we show patrons how to use Overdrive, they want to know where's the app for Sage. Is that ever going to be an option? I mean, I show them how to save it to their home screen, but will there ever be an app version of the Evergreen catalog?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't say never.
I wouldn't say never. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of
never, right?
What's that?
I mean, don't ever say never, but we just wondered if there was one in the works.
You know, it's not something that we have considered a priority. There have been some sites that have used different apps to make connecting to the catalog easier. I think it's something we'd have to investigate. It's you know, if you have computer savvy, you can create your own apps. But then you have to find a way for that app to be readily available to the public.
Right. I just show them how to save it to their home screen, and that works for now.
Okay.
I think it would be a really good idea for the future because I think most of the people that are using, isn't it a good percentage of the people using Evergreen are using it on their phone?
Yeah, in my location, yes.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, and I think that is here as well. And I mean, it's frustrating to have to use on your phone on Safari or Chrome.
Yeah, we worked on the web pages so that they would, you know, have a mobile look to them, but it's still...
Yeah, and it's not horrible, but it's not like a standalone app would feel.
Okay.
Does our new guy have any app design experience? I mean, is this something we can do, or do we need to have Equinox do?
I would
Yeah.
imagine if there was an app that one of the big libraries like KCLS would have developed one, but I don't see them having launched one yet. I don't know if they're working on one or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. I can do some research and see if I can find anybody else out there that's done it, or ask a question over the listserv to see if anybody has developed an app for accessing the catalog.
I think that's a great idea too. I think our patrons would really like that also.
Okay, is there anything else? Our next meeting will be in November. Am I correct? Third Tuesday of the month?
Yep.
That puts it the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the 21st.
It works for me.
10 a.m. Okay. Then we'll be done with this meeting today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.